Hey guys, Kariba Bros here, and today I'm with Jack. We've got another GOAT deck profile for you. So, just kind of shaking things up on the channel. We obviously do a lot of speed duel, but GOAT is also like a really good format that me and Jack both like to play.
Yeah.
There's such a variety of decks, and there's so many old school
Yeah,
classic cards.
and as time goes on, the meta is really diversifying in a more aggressive route. So that brings me with today's deck,
Go on, which is
Bazoo Return.
go on. So bring the card a bit more centre. Bazoo return. So
Yeah,
what's this card do?
so essentially you can banish up to 3 monsters in your grave,
Yeah.
and for each monster you remove from grave, it gains 300 attack. So it looks
Is that permanently or to the end of the turn?
just till the end of turn.
Okay.
And it looks quite unsuspecting, but it turns into a level 4 beta for 2500. So we play 3 of that because it's an aggressive card, and this is a thing where you start off with quite an unsuspecting start, and you slowly start getting your banish pile up, and then you hit them with a big return.
Before you carry on, so it's got 1600 base attack,
attack.
and obviously you can banish up to 3 to give it another 900. That takes it to 2500. So that beats over most tribute summon monsters in the format.
Beats over Parshath, beats over Jinzo. And this
All the
deck
monarchs.
plays this deck plays a lot of traps as well. So the fact that you can beat over Jinzo is quite important.
Fair play.
So we play one Blade Knight for anti-meta.
One Blood Knight.
Blood Knight, yeah.
Blood Knight.
One Breaker, because it's...
That's a very nice rarity. What's that from? Is that an MFC?
Yeah.
Wow, that is
got it from one of my locals at university. We played 2 DD Assailants, and this is another card that you don't realise has synergy. It banishes when it dies, so you get it back off the return as well, and you don't have to banish it off the Bazoo. So if you don't see your Bazoos, again, DD, hand control things, exile to our problem cards. It's about like the really, really techie players who play like, what's the 2/6 defense one that tends to attack?
Oh,
Big Shield Gardener.
Big Shield Gardener, yeah.
We play a Jinzo. Now this is to secure games in cases where you are playing into a lot of back row, but you banish it off the Bazoo, but then you return it back off when you're going for game. Sangan, because it's staple. Sinister, again staple. Spirit Reaper, similar to...
Just the one copy?
Just the one copy. It's a reasonably good way to have tribute fodder for your Jinzo if you need to hard make it, but it's also a way of hitting cards out of hand, and a good way of making them waste resources on a card that you may later get back to hit more cards out of hand.
Have you thought about playing any of the recruiters in this?
Well, all the warriors are searchable because Rota's at 2,
Yeah.
so that's good. At this stage, I don't think Beast or Beast Warrior or anything like that had any searches. I don't play any recruiters at the moment because I want to be hyper aggressive. I want to have consistent threats, but also them actually pump out value at the same time. So like Blade Knight, it's aggressive, or it can outflip monsters. Donzaluke can mill or hit cards out of hand. Spirit Reaper's a wall, things like that. Tribe, obviously, we play Sinister as well, so that makes it a little bit more valuable. 2 Knock, because staple. 2 Rota, because it was at 2, otherwise I would play 3 if it had the option. 1 Duo, Graceful, Heavy, MST, Potagreed, that is, believe it or not, Potagreed, just in Italian. Prem, Smashing Ground, I'm not sure how I feel about this card, but again, it's part of that aggressive route that we're going for. Snatch Steal, part of your win con, or your main win con. 3 Return.
So it's just what people might not know, but obviously you'll pay half your life points and you summon as many banished monsters as possible.
Until end of turn. I'm thinking about changing this to Dimension Fusion now. However, this is a good way to defend yourself if you're in a really back-breaking situation where you need to wall up.
I mean, this isn't the only deck that plays this card either. You see it teched in Chaos builds.
Yeah, of course, you've seen it played a lot more. As I say earlier on in the video, you see a lot more diverse and aggressive metagame now than you would have, say, 5 years ago. And so for that reason, you see this played in a lot more aggressive decks. See it in some really weird combo decks as well. 2 Saku, because we want to keep their threats off board. 2 Judgments. I spoke to Nathan about this earlier. I think it should be 3, but I wanted to keep the deck at 40 cards. And I valued life here because of the returns. Mirror Force, Call, Ring, and TT, because the staple. And I do play a full 15 card extra deck, but obviously you can't go into it. It's just there as part of your options, really. So yeah, that's
the main deck. That's
all the main deck. Yeah.
Well, you've got a side deck there, haven't you?
I've got a side deck. It's not particularly well attuned, but I can give you a quick viewing. So this is my sort of generic side deck that I keep going when I just feel like I might need to go into some cards. So, Gravekeeper's Guard. And I
That's
can,
a flip and it returns a
yeah,
card to the
but the
field.
thing is, I go through Spy, and then if I can book the other Spy and things like that later down the line, I can then get this off the second Spy. Kaiku for Graveyard Interruption against Chaos, it's actually really, really good. Mobius to pop back row in a case like with Jinzo, where they're playing a lot of back row and you're scared of it. Mystic Swordsman, this is for things like Flip Turbo decks and Mask of Darkness decks that require things like Solemn Judgment, and you really don't want to run into multiple judgments because you're allowing them to go off with Mask of Darkness. The Koichi, just a way of getting further advantage. Econ, now I predominantly play this not as a defensive piece but as a way to clear their board, so I'll tribute something like a Sanganoff or a Jinzo, for example, and I'll bazoo the Jinzo away and then take it off their board and then secure a game for myself later down the line. I've got the third Judgment in the side. I've got 2 Dust Tornado, and for games where they play a lot more back row than me, I just play 2 Degree.
Yeah.
And then we swap the Jinzo package out for the Decree and the Mobius to pop their back row as they're under Decree.
It's very nice. So, what are your thoughts on the deck? Is it enjoyable to play? Or?
It's very, very fun to play. It's not necessarily the best. As I say, it looks to have quite an unsuspecting start, and for that reason, a lot of people may think it's worth holding cards for bigger threats. But by that point, if they undervalue your cards, it's typically too late for them, because a return it's caught them off guard with a Jinzo coming back, unless they have judgments or something like that, or a Jinzo of their own. You tend to secure game for yourself. The only time you struggle is through goats. So
Yeah. Fair play. Well, thanks for the deck profile. There's going to be more GOAT content coming in the future. Speed Duel is still the main angle of the channel, but GOAT's just the legacy format. It's really fun to play. So watch out for more videos.
Really enjoy it.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.